and welcome to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing, fam? How is everything going? Or should I say Dr. Mumbi Live? Anyway, wherever you're seeing this, we're so glad you could join us. Thanks so much for all the support that we received on our Dr. Mumbi Live channel when we were kind of, in YouTube jail for a week. I think we're now back on that channel, but we're going to be keeping both channels going. And, the Dr. Mumbi Live will become more of the prophetic update channel, whereas the Dr. Mumbi Show, we're going to be increasing the news we're giving you because so much is going on across the continent. Thanks to the over 400 new subscribers to our Patreon account. Appreciate, love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining us on that platform and for supporting our work, because not only will that secure our staff, but we are building the next platform in terms of how we'll run it, because we must keep in touch. Even, I keep saying the world will never be the same again. A lot of black YouTubers, for the first time ever, and African YouTubers are finding themselves being kind of, shadow banned, or videos are being taken down. It's happening across. There's a certain narrative that, the globalists, sorry, that probably just messed up the mic, but that the globalists are trying to pursue, and they will do that at any cost. So for us, it's just to know what time it is and to take the necessary action. And the reason I share these stories is not to get you to lose heart or to make you feel like it's hopeless, but it's to ignite a fire in you so that you know what time it is and you take the necessary steps for the sake of yourself. If some of you guys are parents, for the sake of your children and for the sake of future generations, for the sake of our nation, because really, so much information has been made available, and that is a sign of, that really is the Most High working, but now it's up to each and every one of us to heed the warnings, to heed the messages, to heed the calls. And if someone comes with a vaccine to us, or if someone comes with some strange medication, or if someone wants to give us a free, whatever it may be, we will think twice and thrice, because we have entered the age of self-sufficiency, where we must, at all costs, we must absolutely become, the authors of our own future. Because for so long we've just been riding along, listening to what the West is saying, and this is what has happened. And we are such sitting ducks, because even our governments are totally sold out. And I think it's very important. This is a story that was released. There's a lot they're just releasing as they're going through. This is a story that was released during this pandemic, where the British Army has actually announced that a quarter of their soldiers will be robots by 2030. In 10 years. And if they're announcing this in 10 years, you'd better believe there's some robots already in operation in the British Army. And this was basically, in a rare interview with British military General Sir Nick Carter, where he said, the British Army will need to be more dispensable. And he's basically the Chief of Defense Staff Warden. And he said, the world was the most insecure he'd ever known it. And Britain was living through a greater amount of change than both world wars combined. And we saw last year and in 2018, I covered this extensively, where the divided kingdom actually heavily recruited African soldiers, African translators of key, some said Hebraic, sorry guys, I keep touching this microphone. Some said Hebraic communities, etc., etc. And they wanted, they basically opened up recruitment to the entire Commonwealth. And for you guys who took it, what are you going to do now when the money's irrelevant? If they haven't already put some kind of chip in you. Because, they also test things. As much as they try and test on black people, they also test on their soldiers' stories for other days. He said that the British government was carrying out the biggest review of its defense and security. And in 2019, there was more push to recruit from the Commonwealth, which I was talking about. And then he went on to say that, he was speaking on the Truth Trade broadcast, something called Battlefield, I think. And he said, in 2030s, he basically said, the war dynamics in the 2030s would be much more about competition between hiding and finding, as opposed to conventional warfare. Do you hear, people? Hiding and finding, as opposed to conventional warfare. So they're already preparing. They've got their drones. I'm sure they have their clones in Africa. We've also heard some presidents are clones. Just look at the presidents who are, looking a little bit different. Let me not even get into that. And he said, to put it rightly, you'll see more robots in all the domains, land, air, maritime, but also in space. So they're already planning to go to. What do they know that we don't know? Africans were so clueless, because we think, our presidents think they're part of the part of the West, but kumbe they're just. They don't know. They're kept in the dark. They have no idea what's going on. And he said, you will want things more maneuverable, probably smaller and faster, and probably often dispensable. So he said, allegedly the British Army stood at 78,000. I don't believe these numbers. Let me know what you think. 78,620 full-time soldiers. There are about 29,860 reserves. So that's a total of 108, 109, Brit soldiers, not including the civilians if people had to be drafted, etc., etc. And they said they wanted to increase this number to 120,000 in the next decade, but this would include about 30,000 robots. They'd also add, 30 to 40,000 reservists, and then they'd reduce the numbers to 40,000 full-time, and then they'd have 20,000 civilians. And what the divided kingdom is finding is that fewer British citizens are actually willing to join the army. Many of them are disillusioned with the whole process. And the army said they also needed more youngsters with computer skills, because the war would still be, visceral and violent. And he talked of increasing ISIS attacks, etc., etc. But this should be a massive wake-up call. It should sound like a billion alarm bells. Because if they're telling you that they're going to have 30, you think they're going to stick to 30,000? I wouldn't be surprised if they have millions of those things already up and running. And what do you think is going to happen now that everyone's wearing a mask? Where you can't tell whether someone is a human or someone is a robot or someone is a clone. Did you think about that angle? Anyway, let me know what you think of this story, fam. Until next time. Mwah.
Greetings, my name is Pressure Bus Pipe. I am from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I say no to the vaccine in the Democratic Republic of Congo or any African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not your guinea pigs. Period.
Greetings, my name is Natifa. I am from the Commonwealth of Dominica, and I say no to the COVID-19 vaccine trials in the DRC or any other African countries. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not your guinea pigs. We stand with the DRC.
My name is Hawa. I'm from Rwanda. I say no to COVID-19 vaccine trial in DRC or any country in Africa. We are not guinea pigs, and Africa is not your laboratory.
Greetings, my name is Gianna, and I'm representing the Republic of Panama. And I'm saying no to any corona COVID-19 vaccination testing in Africa, in any part of Africa. We're not a laboratory, we're not your guinea pigs.
The mother of the Royal Chant, I represent Jamaica, and we say right now, we don't want no testing, no way in Africa. See? Blessed.
Hi, my name is John Keel, and I'm from Guyana. And I am definitely aware, alert, and anti-COVID-19 vaccinations for Africans in Africa and anywhere else in the world. I don't know who in their right mind would support something like that. No vaccinations for Africans anywhere.
Greetings, my name is Eva Escobar, and I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I say no to COVID-19 vaccine trials in the Democratic Republic of Congo or any other African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not your guinea pigs. Period.
Hi, my name is Marie Paul, and I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands, West Indies. I do not support the COVID-19 vaccination trials in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Africa is not your laboratory, and Africa is not your guinea pig. I stand with the people of the DRC. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Juliet Madison. I'm from Washington, D.C., in the United States of America. I say no to the clinical trials for COVID-19 vaccine in the DRC or anywhere in Africa. Africa is not a laboratory, and African people are not lab rats. We stand with the people of the DRC.
This is Asafa Widamaya, exiled Ethiopian, dub poet and recording artist, saying no to COVID-19 vaccine testing in Africa. One of them people, if you know, say we will not allow Europe, Asia, or anyone else to use Africa as them laboratory or use black people for any bumbleclot, lab rat, or guinea pig. We say no.
I'm Akua Asset from the United States of America. I say no to COVID-19 trials in the DRC and any African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and Africans are not lab rats.
My name is Azia Suleiman, and I am from the United States. And I say no to the COVID-19 trials in the DRC or in any African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and Africans are not lab rats.
My name is Melissa Sehlako, and I'm from South Africa. I do not support the COVID-19 trials in the DRC or any African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and we are not lab rats. We stand with the people of the DRC.
Greetings. My name is Jermaine. I am from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I say no to the COVID-19 testing in the Democratic Republic of Congo or any African countries. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not your guinea pigs. Period.
Greetings, my name is Jamila, and I am from the United States Virgin Islands. I say no to the COVID-19 vaccine trial in the Democratic Republic of Congo or any African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not your guinea pigs. Period.
Greetings, my name is Damali, and I am from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I say no to the COVID-19 vaccine trials in the Democratic Republic of Congo or any other African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not your guinea pigs. Period.
Greetings, my name is Charisma Victorine, also known as Queen Elia Shaddai, and I say no to the COVID-19 vaccine trials in the Democratic Republic of Congo or any other African country. Africa is not a laboratory, and we Africans are not lab rats. Period.
My name is Dr. Alicia Blackwood, and I'm from Jamaica. I say no to COVID-19 vaccine trials in Africa. Africa is not a laboratory, and Africans are not lab rats.